in art class, we're working on a project. Okay, we're multiplying by 2 today, so let's get started. The students in an art class were working on a project. How many students are there in the art class if there are 8 groups of 2? So we need to find 8 groups of 2. We write 8 groups of 2 as 8 times 2. Remember that your multiplication sign means the same as groups of. So one way to do it is to use an array. So let's draw an array with 8 rows and 2 columns. So you can just make dots. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So let's do 8 rows of 2. So what I like to do is I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, this is my first column. So don't add 2 columns to it. This is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's another way that you can do it if you have trouble with making too many dots, is you can make 8 lines for your rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you just put 2 dots on each line. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Either way will work. Okay, the other way to do it is to draw 8 equal groups of 2. So I can make 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to put 2 in each group. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, when you do this on your paper, for the array one, pick one way to do it. Either do it just the dots or do the 8 lines with 2 dots on each line. But you don't have to do both. But make sure you do the drawing part. It's really important to understanding multiplication. All right, now we're going to write an addition sentence and a multiplication sentence. So in my first row, I have 2. I'm going to type this. It'll be neater because this is kind of small. Okay, so in the first row, I have 2. Scroll down. I'm working off a small laptop here, so it's a little challenging. And I'm going to make small start. Again, also doing this with my fingers, so it's not ideal because I don't have another way to do it. Okay, so in the first row, I have 2. Get my keyboard cut. There we go. So in the first row, I have 2. The second row, I had 2. The third row, I had 2. Fourth row, I had 2. Fifth row, I had 2. Sixth row, I had 2. Seventh row, I had 2. And the eighth row, I had 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So that equals 16. Now, when I do this, I have to pay attention to how many 2's I have. I'm not going to put 2 in my first blank. I'm just going to keep typing. Make my 0 go faster. I did 8 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to put 8 on my first blank. And I did 8 2's, which equals 16. Yes, 2 times 8 does equal 16, but our pictures, our array, our equal group picture, and our number sentence shows 8 2's, not 2 8's. Okay, so down here on the next line, so 8 times 2 equals, smaller, Drop down. 8 times 2, we found out, equals 16. So there are 16 students in the class, in the art class. Now, you can write multiplication vertically as well. They show you that example there. No matter which way you write a multiplication fact, you still read it the same way. 8 times 2 equals 16, or 8 groups of 2 is 16. All right, let's go to the next page. Seth rides his bike to the park Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It is 2 miles round trip. How many miles does he ride for the 3 days? Write a multiplication sentence with a symbol for the unknown, then use a bar diagram to solve it. So he has 3 days that he rides 2 miles. Our unknown is how many miles he rides altogether. So our model is going to be 2 miles a day as one part. You can see that over here. So one part equals 2 miles. Since he rode the same amount for 3 days, model a total of 3 parts. So they did 2 miles, 2 miles, 2 miles, for a total of 3 days. So how many miles would that be? So let's write a multiplication sentence. So he had, I'm going to type again. So he did 3 days. Okay, so he did 3 days times 2 miles a day, which equals 2, 4, 6, 6 miles. So 3 times 2 equals 6. Seth rode 6 miles for 3 days. The unknown was 6. Okay, so let's go down to the guided practice. We're going to write an addition sentence and a multiplication sentence for each. Kind of already done this with previous lessons, so it shouldn't be too hard. I think I made this small. Anyway, I don't know how to fix it. Okay, so we're going to write an addition sentence for the stocks and for the cherries, as well as a multiplication sentence. So 4 groups of 2 is. So you can see the 4 groups. I'm going to go ahead and circle them, and you probably should on your book as well. So you can see them. You have 4 groups of 2. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 groups of 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 groups of 2 is 8. That over a bit so we can see it. Okay, 2 plus 2 plus, try and get the font smaller. I want to scroll down a bit. Okay, there we go. Otherwise, the keyboard covers up where I'm typing. I don't know if in the video if you can see the keyboard pop up or not. Anyway, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. See, I have 4 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. I skip count up 4 fingers, and that gets me 8. So I have 4 groups of 2. I have 4 2s. I don't have 2 4s. Yes, it would give you the same answer, but it doesn't tell us what our picture says. So 4 groups of 2 is the same as 8. Let's do the cherries. Okay, so I have 3 groups of 2, so I'm going to circle them, even though they're kind of paired up really well. I'm going to go ahead and circle them anyway, because it's good for me to get that idea that it's 3 groups of 2. Okay, 3 groups of 2, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a total of 6. Oops, wait, I was going to type. Let's see. Made a long thing to type in. Not going to use that. Okay. 3 groups of 2 is 6. I have 3 groups of 2, so I need another 2 here. That was a nice size. Let me scooch it over just a bit so it fits better. Oops, I just made it go away by accident. It's not wanting to move. There we go. Okay, 2 plus 2 plus 2, space over, is 6. I have 3 2s. Where did that 2 come from? Oh, maybe that was the other 2. I thought I deleted it. Okay, that works. So 3 groups of 2, not 2 groups of 3, equals 6, because it represents what's in our picture. We don't have 2 groups of 3 cherries, we have 3 groups of 2 cherries. So describe 2 strategies you can use to remember the multiplication facts for 2. Well, you could do groups of, you could do repeated addition, you could do skip counting, you could draw arrays. There's actually 4 strategies there that you have that you can use. Okay, so there you go. That is how we multiply by 2.